who the credit bureaus that we report to or that are reporting your credit? Anybody?
TransUnion, Experian, and Equifax.
See somebody.
Equifax.
Okay, so there's three main ones, right? Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. Did you guys know that there's more than three?
Huh?
There's more than three. Those are the big three, the main three. But there are CoreLogix, Credico, Advance, PRBC, check systems. I know people have heard if they were writing checks, if you wrote a bad check or something, then check systems has your information. All these people, or these credit bureaus are in a business. It's a business. Just like anybody else, they're not the government, they are just a business. So they sell your data, so then that way they can actually get the banks to pay them for that data. They don't care if it's right or wrong. So that's why most people's credit card gets messed up, not due to the fact of you messed up. It's due to the fact that there's people that are actually putting the data in the system. And if they make a typo, unless you tell them that it's wrong, it's right. Okay? So more than half of the people, when we go do credit cleanup and we do this whole credit repair piece, most of it is just correcting information. It has nothing to do with just deleting stuff. There's a lot of credit repair companies out here that will tell you, oh, delete all this stuff and your credit will go up. All they're doing is repairing your credit to, the law is on your side. Always remember that. Because they are a business just like everybody else. It's not a government agency, so the law is on your side. They have to prove that you owe them. You don't have to prove that you don't. And a lot of people don't understand that, which is the reason why people's credit is bad. Okay? And then knowing the different laws and stuff, who can collect and who can't is also important. But now, the question is, what does low credit cost you? So as this dialogue actually shows, kind of like, you go and buy a car, how much are you gonna pay for that car based on your credit score? So like that person B versus the person A with a 730 credit score and 599, 1% versus a 14%. So we being ate up in costs from our households just because we have poor credit. So it's important for your credit to be where it's supposed to, bringing it up to where it needs to be. It doesn't take much to do it, but you do want to keep it where it's supposed to be, so then that way you can bring that $9,600 back into your household. Because I'm sure there's a lot more that you can do with it. The banks are getting paid in every way, form, and fashion. But this is one of the major reasons why banks have not closed. Because people with poor credit are the ones that fund the people that get those low credit rates. So it's just something to think about. Okay, what is a credit score? Anybody? Do you know what your credit score is, how it's calculated, or?
Trustworthiness on whether or not you'll pay back a loan.
Right.
Okay.
It's how much of a risk you are for lenders to loan to.
Absolutely. So, yes, and I'm gonna say you guys are both correct. So and then I'm gonna say yes and no. The credit score is based on so many different calculations, and most of them are errors. Okay?
Wow.
Yes. Most of them are errors. When you correct it, people will say, well, why did my credit go down and I paid this off? Paid my car off, and my credit went down. It didn't even go up. That's because there's a happy balance, because then they actually ding you and say, you don't have enough debt. Or you have the wrong type of debt. So you have to have a balance between all of the debts. And you'll see it like if you guys have like Credit Karma or Credit Sesame. There's a lot of different places where you can go for free and find out what your credit score looks like and kind of how to keep it balanced. But it'll tell you what's good, what's bad, and give you different tips to try to help you to manage your credit. That is because they're trying to help you to maintain that healthy balance. The system says what today is going to be with your credit score. That's why it's monthly. Every month as your stuff starts to report, it'll fluctuate up and down.
Don't your bank supposed to give it to you free?
Give what? Your credit score? No. Your bank will give it to you for free if you apply for something. Then they're required to give you your credit score. Now, there are banks that are out there that will give it to you for free because that's something that they give you.
Credit card too?
They don't give you credit card.
No, I'm
Oh.
Give your credit score
Uh-huh.
free.
Yes, that is a service that they do provide, some of them. They will give you like maybe experience, or they'll give you one. They generally don't give you all three. So I'll tell you before the end of this presentation how to get all three. So you can look at all three of them because they all matter. So one credit score being 500 and the other one being 700, and then let's say you have a third one that's like 493. They don't take that 500 credit score because they generally take the middle credit score, or depending on where they pull. Each bank pulls from a different credit bureau. So it just depends on where they're collecting their data from. When you're buying a house, they use all three and they take the middle score. There's about 900 plus credit score ratings or calculations depending on what you're buying. So if you're getting a credit card, that's one. If you're getting a car, it's a different one. You're getting a mortgage, that's a different one as well. So there's a lot of different ones out here. The one that they do, that credit card and stuff like that, where you can get your credit score, that's basically the one that they would use for like a credit card. Mm-hmm.
So, tell me about this, I just read last week in the paper that they were using your driver's license and dinging your credit score, like, and Warren was, one of the, maybe it was ALC, was asking the credit person what your driver's license has to do with your credit score. And they had no reason. All three of the people from the major credit score were in front of her, and they had no reason for using that.
I can
But
only
they
give you
didn't.
my opinion, but there's really no rhyme or reason.
But I mean, yeah, but so what are they using? It just brought to mind, you know, what are they using to calculate this
Could be how
credit
many
score?
tickets you got,
I was about to say, there's a lot of different things that they use.
how many speeding tickets you have, how many risks. I mean, your risk in terms of how you handle your driving could kind of give somebody who wants to loan you some money a justification not to loan you money because you got so many tickets and
So what's
speed.
regulating what they use to make these credit scores?
Nothing.
Became interesting when I found out, just listening to that hearing, that they were.
The only thing they
using
can
things
do
like-
is use your race, your sex.
Right, I mean, they,
Or all the things that they say you can't discriminate against, that's the only thing they can't use. But everything else is free game. Even when you're buying a house, they ask you how many children you have.
right.
So it's up to them, it's their underwriting, how they do it, how they use that credit score. The calculations, remember I said there's like over 900?
Right.
The calculations are different depending on which one they want to pull from. There's a brand new one that probably you haven't even heard of, it's called Ultra Credit.
What?
What's that?
Ultra Credit is a brand new one. That's the pilot program that's out right now. But the Ultra Credit is based on your credit, based on your banking. So based on how much money you leave in your bank account, how much is being deposited, how much is being taken out. So you can actually opt into that. That may help some people and may hurt others. It can help you now, it can hurt you later. But once you opt in, you can't opt out.
It's like spades, once you call your books, you can go up, but you can't go down.
So yeah, so but just remember when I said at the very beginning, this is a business. They are in business to sell data, and guess what? They don't care if it's right or wrong.
And who regulates them as a business?
The FCC, you, and the FCC. The FCC is your attorney. Because if they do something wrong, if they don't do, you have to tell them that they're wrong though first. If you don't tell them that they're wrong, they're right.
Okay.
So once you tell them that you're wrong, remember I tell you about the dispute process? Once you tell them that they're wrong, they have to prove that they're right. And then if they don't prove it within a certain amount of time, then it gets removed. And they can't put it back once it's removed. They can't come back and prove it 6 months from now.
So, is it true that you shouldn't talk to these people? Like I had a friend, this is early '90s, but like if you don't accept the call, and just by accepting the call, you are accepting responsibility. Like if they say, "Is this Karen Parks?" and you say yes, that's like accepting
Absolutely not.
some responsibility.
It's not.
Okay.
So
It's
can
what
you repeat
say,
that?
and I will tell you what to say. So if a collector calls you, which it was in this PowerPoint, it's not anymore. So if a collector calls you and you answer the phone like you normally would, and they tell you who they are, and that's okay. And then you ask them when they say, well, this is we're a debt collector, we're here to collect a debt. think those are the words, something yada, yada, yada. And you say, oh, okay, then they'll say, do you have, is this your address? You can confirm all of that stuff. You don't have to give them anything, confirm anything that they ask you if it's right. And then you tell them, can you send it to me in writing? And then they're gonna tell you that, well, we wanna talk to you, and you tell them, that you send it to me in writing so we can verify that debt. Once they send you that letter, then you can dispute it. On that letter, it's going to tell you how to dispute the debt. If you don't dispute the debt, then it becomes yours. Okay? But it's not yours until they prove it. So don't, if you make a payment with them over the phone,
Right, that's how, that's.
then that's when you took responsibility.
Yeah, yeah.
And you say, yes, that is my debt, let me give you $1.
No, okay, so.
Because some people think that being smart, saying, well, I'll pay you $1. No, they just took over their debt. So you just want to make sure that they, and there's a lot to it, like we could talk probably for hours about how to get this, different loopholes into that. But at the same time, as long as it's not that you don't want to pay your debt if it belongs to you, but there's certain people who can and can't get your, can collect your debt. All collectors can't collect your debt, you don't have a responsibility to them. So if I, Tawana Collection Agency, call you and say, I'm collecting on behalf of T-Mobile. See, I bought the debt from T-Mobile. My responsibility to collect the debt is just because I'm trying to get my money back. And it would be your responsibility to pay me so I can get paid. But you don't owe the debt anymore to T-Mobile because T-Mobile gave it to me. Your actual contract is with who? So why are you paying me? But you will, because I'm gonna convince you that it is okay to pay me, and I'm gonna give you a short pay. I know you owe $5,000, but girl, you can pay me $500. You feel like you got a deal, huh?
That sounds
Yeah,
good.
sound good? And then you gonna pay me. And see, I'm gonna pay $50 for your whole account. So I just made you
Once
pay.
you've sold your debt, and you've already
Well,
got that deed.
Let her go finish going through because we'll get to a question and answer
we will,
piece.
and
Yeah,
we'll
no,
go
no worries.
over
Just
into that.
yeah,
But
she'll get down to answering
Okay.
a lot of questions.
Thank you. Okay, so how can you determine your credit score? So these are the different ways that the breakdown, which was what you were talking about earlier. So payment history, like what you owe. Remember when I was saying if you don't have enough debt? So it actually said how long your debt was. Sometimes those debts that even though they're bad or closed accounts, those actually give you age in your debt, so it's okay sometimes for those to stay on there just so you can get the points, because you get a point in each different category. Any new credit, any inquiries, any different types of credit that you're using. So all of those kind of come together to bring you your final score. And all of them do it differently because each business may report different information to different bureaus. So they don't all report to all three. And then how is your credit behavior evaluated? So basically, do you pay your bills on time? How long is your credit history? Have you applied for any recent credit? And do you have any outstanding debt? So they basically look at all of those things, and based on how you're doing, they give you a point. Like you get a report card. So your credit is your report card based on your responsibility of your finances.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
I just recently found out that my wages are being garnished through the state taxes, right? Some back taxes, state only, not federal. So just, I guess maybe a two-part question. So somebody told me, or I read actually, that that's gonna stay on my credit report for 7 years. I just started to build it up. Now I feel like hope is right. So it says that that's gonna stay on my credit report for 7 years. I'm currently being garnished. I think I'm curious about how that's gonna affect my business. With my business, I'm registered with the state by using EIN numbers. So I'm wondering if they link up somehow, or if that would mess up my credit or potential credit.
That is a very, the question that you're asking, first is very personal, and second, it's gonna be very comprehensive for me to answer that. So can I answer that for you personally?
Okay.
No, I'm gonna answer, as soon as we get done, I'll come and talk to you, I'm gonna answer.
It doesn't, it doesn't really feel personal to me. I'm just wondering the logistics of it, but yeah, I can wait.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna give you a whole, what you do.
Okay,
Okay.
all right, thank you.
Okay, so that's basically the behavior. Okay, the credit ranges. So we were talking about this earlier. So 800 plus is gonna be excellent. And then between 7 and 799 is good. 300 to 499 is bad, but you know what else is bad? Zero.
Yep.
Zero is, and a lot of people start with zero. Like babies generally start with zero. When you first get started, you start with zero because you don't have no credit. So no credit is bad credit until you start building it. So it kind of goes in between the three, but most people actually probably sit, I'm gonna say, is this a little?
It should be a pointer on there. Maybe. There it
Yes,
is.
it is.
Okay.
They probably sit about here, between these two right here, between poor and fair. There's, most people sit right here, and I say that because they'll even buy a house right here under fair. You can buy a house.
Actually, you can buy a house with poor, in most
Yeah.
cases with 580.
Yeah, however, remember when we talked about a few slides ago?
That interest rate.
So your interest rate ends up being higher,
Yep.
your negotiating power is lower, because they're like, take it or leave it.
Right.
And you're like, but I want my house. So you end up buying it at a lot higher rate than your neighbor next door that may have a little bit higher credit score, and they might even go here, and you're gonna pay for their credit score as well.
Right.
Because you're gonna pay for them to get a lower interest rate. Okay, so keeping that in mind. Where do we start here? What score is that? Where, this lady started at a 423 a year ago. And we cleaned her credit up, and then she started rebuilding. And this is where she's at today. But this is where, you guys remember on the first range?
That's very good.
Is it very good?
Kind of in the middle.
No, well,
Let's see if I can go back.
That's all right.
Okay, where we at? Very good. So she's in the very good range. Not quite excellent, but very good. Still room for improvement. But what I'm saying is like, this is kind of where we're at, okay?
So
she's
we got
still-
questions online too, but keep going.
Okay.
We'll get to your questions online.
Okay. Oh, here we go. All right, credit monitoring. Remember when we talked about that earlier? The credit karmas, stuff like that, credit karma, credit sesame. It's important to keep a credit monitoring service, even if you don't pay for it, like the ones I was just saying. There's one that you can get all 3 credit bureaus, this one here. I'll give this to you guys after if you want it. It's just a URL where you can go and get it for $1. You can get your credit, all 3 of your credit scores, so you can view them. It's important for you to look at your credit. It's important to know where you're at, so that you know where you need to go. Don't be scared of your own credit. It's yours. A lot of people are, they're like, I'm pulling it up, I wanna see it. Don't be scared of it, let me tell you, this is the only way we're gonna fix it is to know where you're at, okay? So knowing where you're at, pulling up your credit score, and then keeping a monitoring. Because remember when I said all of the bad stuff that goes on your credit, when they data entry it? If you don't actually say that it's not yours, it's yours. Even though you haven't addressed it, doesn't mean it's not affecting you. Because when you go for jobs, when you go to buy a house, buy a car, your insurance, when you go get your car insurance, all that is actually gonna come from your credit scores. They're gonna look at all that, so it's affecting
Your cell phone?
everyday life, your cell phone, like any regular things that you normally would do, that you give them your information, they pull in your credit.
Why you gotta put your electricity bill in your kid's name?
Yep. So electricity bills and all that, they always pull your credit, even if it's normal household bills. So it's affecting you even if you're not addressing it. So let's address it, so then that way you can move your credit score over to the very good place, so you don't have to worry about it. When you walk in somewhere, you should be able to say, this is what I want, you should be able to get it because you want it, it's yours. You want to pay for it, buy it. But if you go into a place and you can't get it just due to the fact that you haven't taken care of your responsibilities, whose fault? So we want to make sure that you don't have to walk in and have to walk out and say, I could have got that if I would have just made that phone call. Because a lot of the stuff, like I said, it's probably not even yours. It's probably somebody else's stuff. Or it's just wrong altogether. Credit utilization. A lot of people have credit cards, or they have different things and they're kind of upside down. Okay? So like I know people have heard the analogy of being upside down in a car.
Or a house.
Or a house, yeah, being turned upside down. A lot of it is because you actually a lot of it is from poor credit and getting the lower interest rates or getting a bad loan. But it's the same thing in regards to using more credit. So you're using more than you actually make. And then you run into that upside down. The interest rate is so high that it's actually depreciating quicker than you can pay it off. And you turn upside down. When it comes to the credit utilization within a credit card, if you have a credit card or plan on getting a credit card, you always want to look at how much you have. Most people's credit cards will start out at about $500, maybe let's go with the $500 mark. So at $500, what's 10% of $500? So that's all that a credit card, a $500 credit card, that's all you really should be spending on that card.
$50.
$50.
Get you some gas.
Okay? Now, the reason why is because that'll keep your credit utilization actually good, not excellent. You gotta come down another percentage to be excellent. But this is how you get your points, right? So just know this, you're gonna get your max points up here. You're gonna start losing points in here. So once you get over 30% of utilization of that $500 card, they start deducting points.
Oh.
Okay? But if you get below 30, then they add you 1 point, and then 2 points, and then 3, if you run those 3. Otherwise, you go no points at 30%, and then you go -1, -2, -3. So you start losing points, and it'll tell you when you pull up credit card, credit utilization. Bring your credit utilization down. That's what they mean by that.
What's the first one? I can't see the number.
Oh, it's
0 to
0 to
9.
9%. So excellent is 0 to 9%. I always say rule of thumb 10%. You can get some points.
So if you spend $40 on that $500 credit card,
You're gonna get an
you're
excellent.
gonna get an excellent.
Now, most
But
people,
you pay it off.
right, pay it off. Most people are very,
You have to spend $40 every month.
it's good to do that. Spend it for find your $40 bill, put it on a $500 credit card. What you're doing is you're building your credit. So then, the next thing you know, after about 90 days, that same credit card company just moved you from $500 to $1,000. Now you can spend $100. So that's kind of how it works. Until you can actually get to where, just keep in mind that you never want to max out your card. You want to try to stay below 30%. And that's important. A lot of people don't understand that. They get a card, a credit card, the first thing they do is they max it out.
Yeah.
And then even like when you go to like department stores or something, they're like, you want to buy your stuff on this card? And you're like, sure, you're going to give me 30% off, and they'll give it to you, and then they'll max that card out. And then it reports to your credit, and it actually deems you twice. First for the inquiry, second for the maxed out card. 2 different categories. All right, so now let's talk about how to check your credit and how to actually go through this dispute process that I was talking about, okay? So first off, you guys know that in the state of Colorado, you are allowed to have an annual credit report every year for free. The report, not the scores, but the report. So if you go to annualcreditreport.com, you can pull you can pull all 3 reports, and you can look at it so you can see if there's any inaccuracy, any inaccurate information on it, and then dispute it, okay? You can also call the number that's on here. It's the same as the annual credit report number. And then also, you can go on, like I said, Credit Karma, Credit Sesame, or the link that I gave you earlier where you can get your report and your scores, okay? And if you need that information after, I'll give it to you. So that's kind of how you get your report. Then once you get your report, you need to review it. Look for errors. Most times you will find errors in your name because people can't type. So they'll put the wrong name on it. Maybe you have the wrong address, wrong phone number, employer. So check your demographic information. That's important. And then update it to what it is today. If you lived at 162 Franklin Street in 1985, it should not be on your report unless you still live there. So you want to update it and make sure that the credit bureaus make sure that they update it, because you may have stuff that's being reported just because that address is there. And when it comes into the system, when they bring it in, it's generally a computer that puts data and reports to your credit. So it has to like hit certain things, your name, your date of birth, and let's say the address. So it has to hit so many points before it can go on there. Otherwise, then it's an error. So they put it in a pile to be manually review. And then manually, the people have to go in and check to see if it's really yours before they can report it. So sometimes just updating the information, the demographic information, will raise your credit score within the first 30 days. So that's what I'm gonna tell you guys and show you guys today. Okay?
Can we use a hood strategy and just not cop to nothing?
You could do that. That is possible.
That ain't mine.
You can go in, they can delete it all. But then do you remember the whole thing when I said about no credit is what?
Bad credit.
So I have had somebody do that. They went in, they disputed everything, they basically got under the gun, they never reported or was able to say that it was your debt. So they got it back, they showed me, look, all my stuff got deleted. I said, congratulations, but now you got a problem.
No credit.
You ain't got no credit. So now that you don't have any credit, now you went back to bad credit, which is worse than the 500 credit score that you had. Okay, so then, because we're 300. 300 is still bad, so what's no credit? That's like a 299. So he went backwards. So we had to, it was hard for him to reestablish. So we did get him reestablished, but it took a little longer because there's no credit history.
Somebody just called you out online. They said, that sounds like Brother Jeff.
Yeah, you want to go Yeah, so I mean, that is a strategy. Some people use that strategy. It's not always good. And then being responsible, you want to treat people how you want to be treated. We are all in business to make money. Those people are in business to make money too. So if it's your debt and you can pay the debt, pay the debt. We will help sometimes negotiate the debt if it's just too high. Then you can get it negotiated. There's ways that you can negotiate with those people to bring the debt down, and even negotiate with them removing lates or charge off stuff off of your credit so it doesn't look so bad when you do pay them. You have to talk to them before you do it. Don't just go throw it in the mail and be like, oh. You want to talk to them and say, hey, look, this is what I'm going to do. Can you do this for me? And they generally will work with you. But yeah, we can't cop out and just
You doing business today.
yeah, we gonna do business. We wouldn't want nobody to do that to us.
Not business, business.
Okay, so then once you actually go through and you look for the errors, then to fix the errors, you want to guard against any identity theft. So to fix the errors, you're going to basically go through, highlight, say what's right, and then you're going to send off a letter to actually have those things updated or corrected. And that is called the dispute process. Now, the way that you're going to also guard against identity theft, everybody in here should have their credit locked. If it's not locked, it should be. Because that'll stop things from going on there that shouldn't. People from pulling your credit or stealing your identity, because that is so not a new thing.
How do you lock it?
You just call them and put a lock on it. Or you go online and just put a lock on it. And you can actually freeze it and unfreeze it as often as you need to. So you actually can open it up for certain people, like if you're trying to buy something, you can say, keep it open for this many days, or you can tell them who, and they'll only open it for that creditor.
And it doesn't work against you?
It does not. But it doesn't allow people to pull your credit for any reason. Just pulling it just to be pulling it. Yeah. Because inquiries they hurt. Yeah. Let's see here. Okay, so review.
When you say inquiries hurt, I've always been confused about that. Why, if someone's checking your credit, should that be a ding against?
Because they're not checking your credit, you're applying for credit. So every time you apply for credit, they only allow you to have so many where it doesn't hurt. Like 3 every 2 years, or I'm sorry, that's like 9 months to a year, they'll start falling off. So if you have, let's say, I've seen people who've had on the upside like 6 to 12 inquiries. That means that every time you walk into a department store and you buy a hat, you're like, yep, run my credit. So every time they do that, it just shows that you keep applying for credit. Even if you're denied, it still shows up as an inquiry. The only way it does not go against you is if you pull it yourself. That's why the credit monitoring is important, because then you know where you stand. So if you know you have a 300 credit score, or even a 500 credit score, it's gonna be hard for you to get a JCPenney card. Don't apply. Just tell them no thank you. Because in that way you can save those inquiries for when you really need them, once your credit is where it should be, and then you can go and get those cards. Okay, so when I was talking about reviewing your credit, remember I said check your demographic information, address, date of birth, social security number. I've seen some with the wrong social security numbers on there. And it'll have it as an alias. Somebody, they may have typed your social security number in wrong, and then sometimes when that happens, if somebody else has the same social security number, they'll merge the reports. So then you'll start seeing, other people's stuff on your, you're like, I never even lived in Wyoming. But all they stuff, so if they didn't have good credit, you now really don't have good credit. But that's up to you to look at it and get that taken off of there. Employment history as well, because that actually is what they kind of look at to see where you work at, you know, and your credit worthiness, that's a part of the whole calculated piece as well. Checking on your different trade lines and any public records. So some people will have like liens and stuff like that against them. Some people have liens against them and they didn't even know. Like they didn't know, they never went to court, they was never served, you can get those removed. Because if you weren't served properly, they can't actually file money against you, they can't default if you were never served. So knowing those different things that are available to you is important because then that helps you in your review to go ahead and get them fixed. Okay? Now the dispute process. First thing you're gonna do is you're going to actually, go through and identify the errors. The three main ones are the ones that you're gonna start with first. I will give you guys information about the other credit bureaus, but that kind of comes later because it's more in depth depending on what you're trying to have removed. You're going to then explain why it's wrong and then send copies of documentation if you have any to support your dispute, okay? I do have a letter, so if you guys do want it, I can actually email it to you. I have a template of the letter for you actually to send it out, you can kind of do it yourself. But starting out with first off, just the demographic information, update the top part of it, review your credit, and make sure that you know what's on there. Okay, questions?
There's a whole lot of questions. I wanted to do a couple of the questions that came online as well. So somebody did ask, if I can get back up there, about what is a ideal credit score to purchase a home. So we know it can be as low as 580, but what's the ideal score in order to, you know, start getting those better interest rates?
680 or better.
Okay. And then the other question was, if you have multiple cards, will you figure the 10% collectively for all cards, making that your total amount to spend?
Yes and no. So yes, collectively, because you get points on the utilization of all of your cards in combination. But then no, because you want to kind of keep it, still each card down to a certain amount. So you want to kind of keep them spread apart to be able to get your max points. But you won't lose as many points if you have more extensive credit line. Did that answer your question?
If that did not answer your question, type in a new question.
So are you saying like if you had 5 credit cards
Okay.
and let's say 4 of them are 100,
Mm-hmm.
that you need to keep under what if you
Under
said-
10.
Well, no, we said 500 was gonna be $50.
$50.
So, okay, you got 4 of those and you keep them $40.
Mm-hmm.
So they're excellent, right?
Yes.
So you're saying that those 4 in combination
Mhm.
should be kept under 10% on each card?
Yes. So to get max points,
And
exactly.
then as a group, you get some points too for keeping them under,
Yeah, because you get points for each card.
so.
But if you do, let's say for instance, in that same sense, you have 5 cards at $500 a piece,
Yeah.
okay? One of them is maxed out,
Yeah,
okay, you're losing points there, right?
yeah.
But because your utilization for all of them,
Is
you,
that-
let's say all the rest of them are at 0,
Uh-oh.
okay? All the rest of them are at 0.
Okay.
You're really still only using 9% of your utilization. You're still gonna get your max points,
Oh,
okay? So even if you have one card that's maxed out, that's okay. It's not gonna hurt you as much.
Because you have
But it-
another card.
Right, but
But
it
if you
would
only
hurt
have
you.
one card and it's maxed out,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
killing. you.
Absolutely.
All right.
But it would hurt you less if you only had $50 on that card, $50 on each of the spread between.
So in a way, it's good to get more than one card and just leave one card alone. And I mean, just so you always kind of have a.
Yes and no. Here we go with the yes and no's, right? Yes and no. You remember when I was talking about the different ways the credit or the debt is calculated?
Yeah.
So it's okay to have credit cards. Then you also need to have like a mortgage. But you also need to have like a car. Maybe a student loan. Because different types of debts balance you out. Mhm. But when you just have like all credit cards, then the bank can also look at it as negative because I could give you this loan and you go max out on the cards. Now you're in debt. if you have a balance of other debts and you're kind of keeping that at a balance and they're seeing that, you have all these other debts, you're paying them all collectively. You have 500, maybe you have $2,000 worth of credit cards on one card or three. Generally, you don't want to have more than 3 cards. Then it's going to be a very happy couple, or your points are going to be better.
I'm trying to figure, okay.
It's really hard to figure it out.
I'm old,
Mm-hmm.
I don't work anymore, I'm
Uh-huh.
self-employed. They don't, I go and look and it'll be crazy time on my credit card. But that's because I don't have credit cards, because I like to live within my means, right?
Uh-huh.
So I have a bank card, but it's not a credit card.
Okay.
So how do they calculate that when, like I've had this card forever,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not a credit card.
So you remember Ultra Credit that I was talking about earlier? Ultra Credit, the new one that goes by the bank?
Oh.
That would probably be better for you because you don't use credit. So that would be your new credit scoring option to be able to opt
Between
into that.
eBay, PayPal, and my bank card, I don't have, like a credit.
Yeah, none of those aren't credit cards though. They're all
Yeah, I'm
debits.
paying myself off, but it doesn't work for me, as far as the credit score.
No, does not report at all.
Because they don't know, but they can see I pay my bills, right? Yeah, well, I pay my car insurance and I pay all that stuff on time.
Right, but that's the bank. The bank knows that. So it would be easy for, if your credit is over, then your bank will probably give you a card. You have a relationship with them. So I would tell you to start there. In a small credit card, doesn't have to have big one.
So you really need a card, is what you're saying?
Remember when I said the difference between cash and credit? You have all the cash in the world, like you said, you've been paying for it, you haven't needed anything. But if your credit score is not moving and you need to buy a large item, or you wanted to get some capital for your business,
That's what I'm talking about.
you don't show the signs of a healthy financial background because they're looking at your credit report, which is your report card. So your report card just doesn't reflect what you've been doing, and won't because they don't report.
Desiree Mayberry says, how does student loans affect your credit utilization? Student loans.
Well, let me see. Depending on how you are paying it. So the question is it being paid every month? Or is it more of in like a status that's not paying, no paying status? So that makes the difference. Is it deferred or forbearance?
So I think what she's talking about-
Student loan sits on your credit.
But so we're looking at two different things. I think I understand what she's asking. Like, we're talking about keeping it between that 10%, but so that, what she's talking about here is a revolving credit. Your student loan isn't a revolving credit. You don't use it over and over and again. It's almost more like, it would mirror closer to like a mortgage, something like that, where you are using technically the maximum amount that you were given out, and then it's a matter of you making the payments, and I'll obviously let you finish answering that question, but I think that's what she was getting at. It's not revolving.
Loan, it's kind of static, I mean, it doesn't,
It's an
Fight you all
installment.
the time,
Yeah, it's
as
an
long as you're
installment
paying.
loan. That's a different, remember the different types? Let me see if I can get that to you.
wait, so.
Here, the different types of loans, the revolving credit and the installment loans are different.
Okay.
So when you're using the revolving loans, it's kind of like, it depends, and it also depends on what you're buying, okay? So in her sense, if she is actually purchasing like a home, for instance, they're gonna use her student loans against her because it's gonna go over her overall debt, her debt to income ratio, okay?
But the student loan that I have for my son might help me,
Well, that's probably what's reported on your credit as long as it's been paid.
because
Yeah.
we're paying it, so that'll help me.
Yeah. So
Well,
that's-
it depends on what you're trying to do when you say help you.
Well, I'm-
So possibly help you with the
Yeah, but I
score.
was thinking about like a business, like.
Right, so it could help you from a score perspective because you're making consistent payments, but you mentioned something real key, Tuan, which is a debt to income ratio. And this is actually one of the, and I'm not gonna get into my college tangent, but this is one of the reasons why I say we have to have a better plan for college, because when you go, thank you, you have to have a better plan for college, because when you go into school and you take out that student loan debt, we are the top defaulters in student loan debt. And so what that actually means is that when we're ready to purchase an asset like our home, they are going to look at that payment, whether you're making it or you're not making it, even if it's deferred, even if you have a income-based repayment plan, and they are going to say that you cannot afford your home because your debt to income ratio is too high. So when you're,
Calculate that entire loan?
they will calculate up to either the actual loan payment or up to 2% of the loan. So let's say if your loan is in deferment and you're not actually making a loan payment, so they might calculate, let's say if you have $70,000 of a loan payment, they're gonna calculate $700 a month roughly towards your debt. When you are purchasing a home, you cannot have more than 50% to include your mortgage. So what that means is, I'm just gonna make up a very easy number. If you make $1,000, that's your income, your debt, including your mortgage payment, cannot be more than $500. That is a 50% debt to income. And so your student loan will calculate inside of your debt to income ratio. And so let's say for you paying your son's student loans, for you having an installment loan that you're paying on, that could look great. But if you want to purchase a home, that will go against you.
Yeah.
How do you win?
It's a game.
You win by what she says, planning ahead.
Right.
What she talked about for kids going to school, you start at the young age.
Right.
You plan on getting them scholarship. Okay, stop playing into the system.
Too late.
Okay,
My
the system's
kids'
slavery.
they come.
But there's plenty of opportunities if you plan ahead. All my kids have gone through scholarships. And there's millions of dollars worth of scholarships out there.
Right, right.
But we gotta start when they're young and plan ahead. And you won't have to have that. That's one of my programs that I do. We teach parents how to raise kids within the system and beat the system, but at the same time come out financially independent where they're not stuck on loans. Because our kids come out of these schools and they got these loans to pay back, they're already behind the ball.
Right.
So we work ahead to have a strategy plan.
There was another question about bankruptcy. Can you remove bankruptcy?
Bankruptcies can be removed.
Now student loans, though,
Loans can be removed as well.
shut the front door.
Everything can be removed from your credit report. That does not mean that you don't owe it. It just means it's not on your credit report. So you can't kind of get out of the debt. Still gotta pay it, but you can't remove it. So that means creditors can't see it.
So what you're referring to is that you cannot bankrupt yourself out of student loans, federal student loans.
Okay.
The only way you can get yourself out of a student loan is to two things. Pay it. Secondly, if you do file bankruptcy and the trustee actually gives you an exemption, they will take it off. And then you can be exempt from out of that. Oh, I'm sorry, there's a few other things. Death, you got. Disability,
Okay.
that's it. If you become disabled, they will go ahead and remove your student loans. You won't be responsible for them anymore.
You got a question over here. And then
Yes, ma'am.
So first of all, my Instagram has a million questions for you, but I just wanted to ask a question for myself personally.
Yes.
I've had a bunch of debt when I was in college. I'm in my 30s now.
Okay.
And somehow, I guess the system has a way of kind of refreshing it and making it new by passing it to new collection agencies. So I wound up paying all of that off, and now everything is paid in full, but I still can't get approved for anything because now I have no credit utilization. What is the easiest way for me to get into a credit card so that way I can start to build up a bigger balance?
Security. So you want to get something that has some type of security to it, whether it be a car, those are generally the easiest things to get into, or go get a credit card. You can go get a credit card from Capital One through your bank, whoever you bank with, and just tell them that you want a secured card. You still have to qualify for it, but you pay for your own debt. So you can actually say, I'm gonna give you $500, and that's gonna be the card. So they'll give you a $500 credit card for you bringing them $500 in cash. Okay? And then you basically work off of that. After so long of you actually making payments on that secure card, they will turn that secure card into an unsecured card. So that would be the way that you would want to get started. But we can look, I would give everybody that's in this room and online a free consultation to actually go through your credit report with you and give you a strategy, so you can get started.
So can you throw out your contact information for those that are looking?
Yes, you can call 720-477-1470, or you can go online and just schedule a time with me at tkonnealcreditrepair.com. That's TKONEAL creditrepair.com.
And I'll drop that in the comments once this live goes off. But
And then for the people who are here, there was 2 questions. Yes, ma'am.
So you were saying that with credit loan, or student loans, not credit loans, that the only way to pay it off was like through all the things that you described. However, I'm curious if you, because I've heard at a point in time that there's like different people who buy your student loans, and like they'll buy it and then you pay a percentage of your student loan that isn't what it was, if that makes any sense. I don't know if I was hoping that you would know what that is.
I have no
Yeah,
clue. I have no
okay.
idea, lady.
Okay.
I would say steer clear.
Yeah.
That sounds like one of those Facebook things, that they say, we purchased your debt, we have it now, pay us. And then they send you a letter later, from the student loan company saying you still owe me. So I would steer clear of that. Federal government in general does not sell your debt to anybody other than their own collection agency, because they know they don't get their money. Regardless, because if you file taxes, they don't take it there. If you don't file taxes, you get a job, they don't take it there. Like, they don't get their money back. So they're not gonna sell your debt to kind of give you a break. Now, there's loan forgiveness programs out there. So if you do qualify, you can go in there and get a loan forgiveness after you pay so many payments, they'll forgive your loan. So I would look into that, call your whoever your student loan company is, and talk to them about different payment options.
and there was another question.
I wanna laud her
It
because.
was right there.
Oh, sorry.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh.
Okay, so I have, a pet peeve,
Okay,
like I really don't like being in debt.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
don't like owing anybody anything, this, that, and another, and that's old school, but my grandparents raised me, you don't owe anybody anything.
absolutely.
You pay off everything if I want someone, this, that, and other. And now we're in this period where you just being driven to go and buy a house, buy a car, buy this, buy this, buy this, buy that, even if you don't have the money.
Right.
All right, so what is the good thing about credit that we should put ourselves in those positions? Because when you have life stuff happening, like my home just burned down and this, that, and that kind of thing, you don't have extra cash to monitor your debt. So why is it so important to have credit that puts you into debt so that you can have the credit to buy things just in case or whatever? I'm just not understanding the logic.
So I'm gonna give you the basic answer to that. Credit is leverage. Because you can always make more money with somebody else's money than you can with your own. So most people, from the time they were born, or first, let's say they first started working, how old were you when you started working? About 15, 14?
Well, I'm like,
Okay, let's use my scenario. I started working when I was 13 years old. I could say every single check that I've had, I've made a lot of money in my lifetime, but not enough to buy my house. If I save every single dime of it. So I'd still be living from paycheck to paycheck. However, I purchased a home. Purchasing that home, yes, I did use credit, but now my home is worth more than I bought it for. So the investment was worth it. But the only way I can get that investment is with credit. So that's why credit is important. Because you'll always make more, you'll have more leverage in life if you have good credit, or credit period, versus not using it at all.
Let me add to that too, because I think there's a thought process that you have to, thank you, go into some significant amount of debt. But just as an example, you can build up a good credit score using $500 and $1,000 credit limits, where you are really not utilizing more than, say, $50 to $100 on a consistent basis. So you can do something like every month buy your gas on a credit card, and every month make payments on that. And at any given point in time that you have enough money to go and pay it off, you're able to, right? So you're not really putting yourself into a compromising situation, but you are still able to build up leverage for a day that you want to use it. And then when I look at things like inside of the business community, so what's happening is all up and down Welton, Brother Jeff can attest to this, people are pouring millions worth of dollars into refurbishing buildings, opening up, getting inventory. They have to put together marketing plans. And so what's happening is if you want to go down this street and you want to buy a building, even if you want to lease a building, if you want to then come inside the building, paint it, do your flooring, add your lighting, get your shelving, you want to put your brand sign on the outside, you want to go and get all the inventory that you're going to need. You're going to want to get some sort of help with your manufacturing or whatever, all of those things. You're going to be coming out of a significant amount of money that in most cases we're not going to save up in our lifetime. And it helps us to understand that, again, we're in a system, right? So when we do go to work in corporate America, you're still getting paid at the bottom of that totem pole. We know that we're the last to come in, we're the first to go, right? So even when we do want to utilize and save up our own funds to do it, all of that matters, but it's about understanding that you're still inside of this chessboard of capitalism. And we have to put ourselves in a position to actually play the game. Once you are in that position, you can make a whole lot of choices and options. But my thing is, let's allow ourselves or afford ourselves the options. When you don't have credit, you are losing leverage and options. Now, if I have credit and I have cash and I decide I'm going to use my cash, that's my decision to then use that cash. But I don't want to be in a position where I don't have but one decision or one choice. I want to put myself in a position where I have as many options and choices as possible. Then I can be strategic about making whichever option or decision makes the most sense for me.
I agree. So that kind of goes back to this scenario versus, you saying like, I don't really want to use the credit. If your credit is not good, you're going to pay more. So you don't have to use the credit. They'll just charge you for not using it.
Right.
So you kind of want to make sure, like she said, having that option. So when you do go and purchase a car, because all of us have cars, if you want a car, you want to be able to get the most bang for your buck. You can go get the same amount of a car, because the car is the same, $23,000, but your actual interest rate is going to be lower, and your payments are going to be lower. Your overall interest rate, or the total payments, is going to be lower, like almost $10,000.
So I do have another question.
Yes, sir.
Are there any black credit bureaus?
Say that again.
Are there any black company that deals specifically
Why?
with credit ratings?
Any black credit bureaus?
So-
Black-owned credit bureaus? Not that I am aware
You're one.
of. Well, I'm not a credit bureau.
Well,
I'm a credit repair company.
call it.
But the credit bureaus, no, not at all. They are just like they're a business. They are in the business of selling data, and they don't look like us.
So, my son, is like 26, right?
Mhm.
So, he has a student loan.
Okay?
He doesn't drive, he doesn't
Uh-huh.
want to drive. He has access to his dad's military,
The GI? The GI?
Right, they have access to that. He's working fine, but, what would be the best thing for him to do? Right now, I haven't been able to talk him into a credit card.
You said he's 60?
No, he's 26.
26, I'm sorry.
But he's working every day, he's kind of settled there, but he didn't want any debt, right? Other than his student loan that he's paying on. So you recommend that he get a credit card, keep that
Does he have a
under
car?
the 10%. No, and he doesn't want a car. Millennials are different.
Here's my question. Does he live with you?
Yes.
He does live with you. Okay, great. So this is the way that you can approach the situation. So first off, you do want him to get a credit card, some type of, even if it's just for him to get gas or whatever, right? Groceries, like she was saying, you could just, the stuff that you're gonna normally buy anyway, use that to buy whatever, and then just pay it off. Don't even spend it if you don't have it. So if you know that you have $100 that you spend every month for groceries, spend $100 on groceries on the card, go straight over to the, post office and pay it.
Okay,
Yeah, no interest was paid or nothing, but it still reports, right?
okay.
Now, the reason why I asked you, did he stay with you? Because he will continue to stay with you if he doesn't have any credit. As soon as he gonna get in the car, because they're gonna say no.
Yep.
And or they're gonna say, we'll do it with your co-signing. But if you don't have any credit at all, he's gonna be in your basement until he's 50. So she said no.
No, I actually don't mind him living.
Right now.
But, okay.
For now.
The situation is that he's, high functioning autism.
Okay.
Very high functioning.
Uh-huh.
And yes, I want him to be able to I want him to actually be able to use this VA.
Gotcha.
So what I'm asking you is
Uh-huh.
how do we do that? Because, he doesn't drive and he doesn't want to drive and he doesn't have a lot, you know, they don't seem to do much, but go home and get on the computer and talk to each other.
Oh, that's that millennial stuff.
Yeah.
Now, wait, hold on now. I'm a millennial and I'm,
Okay, the new generation, millennial.
Somebody there like, oh no, okay.
We don't call
So-
them the millennials, but the young millennials.
Right.
Before choice.
Yeah, and not interested at all in driving, ever. Because he's figuring, you know, Uber, actually,
This
he
is a
said,
day
oh,
of
I read the
convenience.
numbers, and it's cheaper for me, because I'm not going that many places to do Uber, and he's right. So I'm just saying, so you have this millennial kid that stays home, they work, they pay this one bill that they have, so what is the best bet for me to do to get him?
Get him a secure credit card.
Okay, that's number
Yeah,
one.
go to your bank, ask for a secure credit card, get a $300 to $500
Well,
credit
he's
card.
had a bank account since he was 3.
Right,
so
but
we're
you still, it's different than a secure credit card, so you wanna ask him for that at the bank. And then you wanna have him to use it for Uber.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
That's
Mhm.
what- So all we need to do then is get the credit card, monitor it.
Get the credit monitoring service, monitor it, even if it's just Credit Karma, keep an eye on it.
Right.
And yeah, and then that's about it. Just keep using it, keep paying it off.
there's another thing I want to add into that because
How much? Yeah.
the other thing is that when you build yourself up to a place where you have good credit, you can utilize that to help other people build their credit. So you can add authorized users onto your credit. They don't have to have a card. They don't have to have access to any of your actual credit line, but they can be listed on your credit line as an authorized user, which will help them build their score. So in particular, when we have small children, we think about those strategies and how we're going to be, you know, more strategic. And obviously, you know, your son is not a small child. But those are things that I'm thinking about that I think I just called Tawana about recently because I'm like, when is the right time to add my, you know, I have a 13-year-old, she's sitting over there, she's filming me, I'm filming her. You know, to begin to help build up their credit scores as well, right? And so you can do that for adults because 20% of the Black community is unbanked. So if we're going to talk about how we begin to, you know, work together in order to move ourselves forward, we can definitely use that as a strategy to add someone on and help them build their score as a tool and a strategy to work together.
And just to piggyback on what Joyce just said, that is correct. As long as they have a social security number, you can add them. Yes.
I saw this day coming a long time ago, you know, when they used to have a lot of cash and it was ready and credit cards started becoming popular. You could play like you don't need a credit card, but you better not try and rent a car.
Right.
In a hotel. Do just some old basic stuff that you need to do.
Right, right.
You should probably just have a card
Just for that.
just because there are gonna be some situations in your life where you come up and you're gonna come up with the bag. It's gonna be full of cash, and they're like, we don't take cash. Where's your
Sometimes,
card?
and even if you take that bag of cash and go and get you a secure card, you still don't owe nobody, you still owe yourself. If you don't pay the debt, they just take it off of that, they just close your account, they take it out of the money you brought to them. So there's still some options if you don't want to go out and get a credit card, you can still do a secure credit card and still not really owe. But as long as you're paying yourself back, they'll report and it'll start to help you to get your credit score up, so then that way you don't have to worry about being, having to get secure.
Why do you get a secured credit card versus just going to filling out the form and having a decision?
Because if you don't qualify for one, they won't send you one.
Oh.
So that's the alternative.
Yeah. So I'm gonna let this sister right here have the last question, and then Tawana, when you wrap up, I want you to make sure, first of all, she has a sheet up here, so you can get in contact with her, she can get in contact with you, and I'll let you finish out what you're gonna do, but let's let this be the last question right here.
So I know that you guys mentioned authorized users and things like that, and I know that there are a lot of companies on the internet that are selling these trade lines that allow you to go on as an authorized user, and that was a route that I was thinking of going down, but one, those prices are very high, I'm talking about $1,200-$1,500. So one, do you recommend something like that? Two, is there a Black organization that you would recommend, or is that something that you offer?
It's not something that I offer. The reason I don't is because it's real shady. Okay. So the reason why it's shady is because when you go to purchase something, banks know that trick. So that's why they go back 2 years to see what your credit really looks like. Okay? So I'd be real careful about doing that. I had a conversation this morning with a lady that had the same question. So just be careful of that. When we're talking authorized users, we're talking about people who are really like in your community that you know. You're going online, if they, let's say they do have great credit, and they make one payment less, or they decide that this month they're not paying their bill. They fail, something happened. Guess who it reports on as well? Right. And you don't even know who they are, and call them and say, can you pay me? Because I paid you, right? You don't have that option. So knowing that, I would be real careful of that. When we say authorized users, my children are authorized users on my account. They don't have a credit card or anything like that, but they have decent credit scores because I pay my bills. So they get the same of what's being reported on my credit is being reported on theirs as well. So you bring your kids up with you if you can. If they have a social security number, add 0. So you can get it, add them. Make your payments on time, and remember to make them on time because they are actually also being affected.
Right.
Okay, so we're gonna wrap up. I will come and speak with you because I know you have a question. But I do want to. Oh, okay. I do want to. I want to do a couple of things. So I want to make sure that everybody gets my information. Again, you can go to tkoneilcreditrepair.com and sign up to get some time with me, and I will sit down with a strategy with you and help you pull your credit and just kind of go over where you're at and where you can get to. I brought some pins with all my information on them so you guys can